And then Roman WrestleMania 40, and the next thing you know, that's when Rock showed back up, and that was a match a lot of fans had wanted to see for a long time.
So Rock says what when he throws the wrench? He comes out.
Well, the way we designed it, and now everyone blames me for this, but I thought I'd done the best I could. I was still going to wrestle Roman, but it wasn't going to be a WrestleMania, so I was going to do just a handoff amongst myself and, Rock is revered. Who doesn't love The Rock?
Yeah.
And it was Birmingham, Alabama, and I went out and said, hey, I am coming for that title, but not at WrestleMania. One of the guys I took counsel with, this guy's, we didn't really say he's going to be a WrestleMania moment, but we clearly framed it up. Rock's music hits, the place loses their minds. Birmingham, Alabama's going bananas, and him and I had an embrace. He told me something super sweet in my ear. I'm sure he doesn't mind me sharing, even though we're not best buddies, but he said, we're going to make both our dads proud.
Oh,
and I smiled for a brief moment.
And then he stole the title from you.
Well, then I left, and for some reason, I'm not blaming anyone for production. They kept filming me. Like, guys, I'm not going to be like, go get him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have a face, so I got kind of like a resting bee face. Like, it's just everyone judged and picked apart he's heartbroken, he's dejected, and I guess I was, but also I didn't want them to know that, and I did this thing where gorilla position, which is the right before you go out, the backstage position. I didn't want anyone to see me like that. So this might have been, I skipped around it and went right to my bus. I had told Triple H and everybody, hey, I'm just going to be private. I don't want to have a meltdown. I don't want to have a moment. That's it. They're going there. They're going there. When they filmed me on my bus after this documentary, because WWE films everything. At any point, a story could be taking place. You know, when they filmed me, I'm sitting there with a giant bottle of Wheatley vodka. And that's because Wheatley sponsors the bus, and we do a podcast with Wheatley. It's not because I was drinking this bottle just straight up, but the way it looks is like all that was missing was like me eating pizza over the sink. It's just like, it was just
it's called a Cody lie.
It was a sad image. It was a sad image. And then that's the point.
But what does the audience do when The Rock says
craziest thing that's ever happened? And so here's the best part about it. In my mind, I'm thinking, what can I do? Right? What can I do? Should I pursue being angry about this? What can I do? Should I just move on to the next thing? At this point in my life, I think I just need to be a professional. It's a rare moment of maturity. Like, no, they've got some plan. I'm going to go with their plan, and almost defeated. And now I hate thinking of myself thinking that way. My wife is like, burn it down, I
love that.
But I did nothing, and there's little movement started. And I say little movement because it was just a social media thing at first. It was just this "We Want Cody" thing on social media. And
I thought live they even reacted to it.
So that's where it became real. The "We Want Cody" thing was happening online. The video of them becoming WrestleMania opponents had the most dislikes. There's these little metrics, but in my mind,
being Roman Reigns and The Rock, right? So they set up this match. In
my mind, I thought like, oh, that digital and social is where people go to complain anyway. So, maybe it's just that. The first night on Monday Night Raw, live in the arena there in St. Louis, is where Seth, of all people, was talking about The Rock, and those were the boos came in. People started booing. And that's where we saw all the "We Want Cody" signs. And I mean, had this been a marketing plan, it would have been genius, but it wasn't.
Completely organic.
It was a real thing provided by the fans. And it's over the course of that week that it could have really emboldened me, but I was still of the thought, like, guys, as sweet as this is,
nothing we can do.
There's nothing we can do. It's done. I have to find it's done. And then I feel comfortable sharing all this because we have the behind the curtain WrestleMania documentary, but it is Rock and Triple H who decided, okay, we're gonna go with him.
Oh wow!
Now
we're gonna go with Cody. They want that. We're going with him.
Important variable in this story, and this is where wrestling has these real moments.
Yeah.
A few months before that, The Rock gets named to the TKO board of directors.
Yeah, he's the director of the board.
He's the director of the board. Yeah. TKO is the company that owns WWE and UFC. So the perception of The Rock is no longer just this wrestler. He's, what is it now, the final boss?
I mean, he's the boss, and then he became the final boss.
The final boss, but he's the boss. And a boss swooping in, using his power position to take away the opportunity from a hardworking guy that has truly earned it. And the people reject that. They're like, fuck, I've been in that situation where the fucking boss takes this opportunity or hires some random friend instead of me, and I'm busting my ass at this fucking company. So the people reject The Rock in this new position. I wonder if The Rock is just a wrestler, how they react. Yeah. But seeing him in a power position, abusing his power, creates this empathy and like desire for you to fulfill the audience's dream.
Yeah. Ironically, a smart thing you didn't do at AEW.
Is react at all. Let them react.
So in his, again, not the best of buddies, but in his defense, I think Rock has become so busy. The amount of stuff, his output is incredible. Like his work ethic, his output. I don't think he knew so much about the current landscape. Yeah. He knows that company backwards and forwards. It's a company that the show's called SmackDown because he said that word. He had set the table for everybody, but I don't think he was always keeping an eye on the table.
Right.
And I think over the course of that week, and I could be wrong again, I'm so glad that he did see, okay, it's bigger.
He leaned in, right? He called your fans the Cody Crybaby.
He went on Pat McAfee, called them Cody Crybaby, and then not just turned into a bad guy. A lot of people thought, we're getting Hollywood Rock back. Hollywood Rock was one of his great iterations. He went a whole nother way with the final boss, which again, in our world of suspension of disbelief, is not remotely untrue. He is the boss. Yeah. He dictates the shots, and that I'm glad that's a byproduct of the WrestleMania 40 situation, because it was a mess. That week was a mess. At that point, anything could have happened. One of those lists could have showed up back on social media again. Like, anything could have happened. The world was. I didn't know. I wanted to be mature. I wanted to be different. I told you guys I'm different, but also I was in my mind getting more reckless, getting more, no, I did earn it this time. I did. And again, it's entertainment. But it just felt like WrestleMania is a Super Bowl. Imagine you're the team and you win every game and you're supposed to go to the Super Bowl. And it's like, no, you that's the part where I couldn't understand. Like, so what is my plan? Because I can't understand this one. Because winning the title may be the second hardest thing in the business. The hardest thing is main eventing WrestleMania. That's like getting elected into the highest office in our business. It's just a very big task. And I'd done it once and was so proud, but again, greedy. I wanted number 2, and I wanted to finish. Yeah. Number 1 was Empire Strikes Back. Let's get to Jedi here. You know what I'm saying? Let's finish this. And it was a tricky week.
So you devised this thing where you and, of all people, Seth Rollins,
my guy,
have this tag team match against The Rock and Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And then you end up fighting Roman, of course, but the winner gets to decide what that fight is going to be.
Yeah, it was if Final Boss and Roman won, it would go into Bloodline rules, which just means there's no rules.
No rules, which is awesome.
Yes.
You said this twice. You and The Rock aren't the best of friends. Like, do you guys have some beef behind the scenes?
No, I think when a situation like that happens and it's very real about, hey, the fans have made a choice. Yeah. And, it's very real. I think there's just a lingering tension, perhaps.
And he's probably used to he's been universally loved for decades straight.
I universally love him. I grew up.
There also might be some wrestling going on here, Al.
I grew up I grew up a Rock fan. No, I sincerely
might be some storytelling happening.
I grew up a Rock fan. I say
what's
not the
real,
best of
what's
buddies.
fabricated? You never know.
I think I'd like to be, but the reason I might say that is because I'd love to. We have yet to debrief on WrestleMania and what happened. Wow. Because I bet you his story is a little different.
Right.
I feel like there was probably people like, no, they're definitely, you're their guy. They're going with you. I think maybe some bad advice came, or maybe didn't get a good knowledge of, hey, here's the current layout. Here's who's sitting at that table. But I'd love that one day if we can ever have this little debrief just to explain, because I never wanted to do anything in secret. I never wanted to do anything behind the scenes, because truth is, when that happened, you start thinking, what if I told such and such this story? No, you can't. I got very defensive. Yeah.
It's crazy because in that moment, he was the people's champ.
I must kill him. Rock has that people's champ title too. It's very popular in the locker room. His people's, because it's his title. Like,
you might need to fight for that one. So,